The tent was ripped open from the inside, and most of the group's belongings, including clothing and shoes, were left behind. The hikers seemed to have fled the tent in a hurry, some of them wearing only socks or a single shoe, even though the temperatures were well below freezing. Today we will be discussing three of history's biggest mysteries. Thank you for joining us at J&M Paranormal. If you like this content, please subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future uploads. Now, let's get on with the show. The Datlov Pass Incident. In 1959, 9 experienced hikers, led by Igor Datlov, embarked on a skiing expedition in the northern Ural Mountains in the Soviet Union. The team planned to reach Otorten, a mountain 10 kilometers away from their starting point. They were well equipped and experienced, but they never reached their destination. When the group failed to send any messages for an extended period, search and rescue teams were dispatched. They discovered the camp on February 26, 1959, but what they found was deeply unsettling. The tent was ripped open from the inside, and most of the group's belongings, including clothing and shoes, were left behind. The hikers seemed to have fled the tent in a hurry, some of them wearing only socks or a single shoe, even though the temperatures were well below freezing. The first 2 bodies were found about a mile from the tent, near the remains of a campfire. They were dressed only in their underwear. 3 more bodies were discovered at varying distances between the tent and the first 2 bodies, in poses that suggested they were trying to return to the tent. It took more than 2 months to find the remaining 4 hikers. The medical examinations presented more questions than answers. There were no signs of struggle or external injuries on the first 5 bodies, but the latter 4 showed evidence of significant internal injuries, including fractured skulls and broken ribs. One of the hikers was missing her tongue, eyes, and part of her lips. Some of the clothing was found to be radioactive. Oddly, some of the hikers had traces of a tan, and their hair had turned gray prematurely. Many theories have been proposed to explain the Datlov Pass incident: avalanches, military tests, infrasound-induced panic, and even extraterrestrial involvement. However, none of these theories are universally accepted, and the incident remains one of the most mysterious and unsettling events in the annals of outdoor exploration. The area where the incident occurred was named Datlov Pass in honor of the group's leader. The event has inspired numerous books, documentaries, and investigations, but despite all the attention, the Datlov Pass incident remains unexplained to this day. The Satanic Panic was a period of moral panic in the United States and to some extent other parts of the Western world, mainly during the 1980s and early 1990s. The panic centered around the belief that satanic cults were kidnapping, abusing, and sacrificing children and animals as part of ritualistic practices. These beliefs were propagated and sensationalized by certain media outlets, charismatic religious figures, and self-proclaimed experts on satanic rituals. The origins of the Satanic Panic can be traced to a mix of elements. The late 20th century was a period of significant social change, including changes in family structure, gender roles, and religious practices. This created a sense of instability and fear for some, making them more susceptible to conspiracy theories. The rise of the self-help industry, including the increased emphasis on therapy and recovered memories, contributed to the panic. Some therapists used suggestive techniques that they believed could uncover repressed memories of satanic abuse, although these techniques are now largely discredited. Books like Michelle Remembers from 1980 claim to document cases of satanic ritual abuse. Television talk shows, tabloid journalism, and even some mainstream news reports played a significant role in disseminating the idea that satanic cults were widespread. One of the most infamous cases was the McMartin preschool trial, where teachers at a California preschool were accused of abusing children in satanic rituals. Despite a lack of credible evidence and the implausibility of the charges, the trial became one of the longest and most expensive in American history. All of the accused were eventually acquitted or had their charges dropped. In 1993, 3 teenagers, known as the West Memphis Three, were convicted of murdering 3 young boys in what was portrayed as a satanic ritual. They were later released after serving 18 years in prison amid growing evidence of their innocence and judicial misconduct. Numerous people were wrongly accused and some were convicted of participating in satanic rituals, often losing their jobs, families, and reputations in the process. The Satanic Panic had a chilling effect on various subcultures, particularly those related to heavy metal music, goth, Wicca, and other alternative belief systems that were unfairly linked to Satanism. The Satanic Panic led to a reevaluation of police and social work practices, particularly regarding the interrogation of children and the validity of recovered memories. During the late 1990s, the panic had largely subsided, thanks in part to the scholarly critique and investigative journalism that debunked many of the claims. Nevertheless, the Satanic Panic serves as a cautionary tale about the power of social hysteria and the importance of critical thinking and skepticism. It remains a topic of interest in the study of folklore, psychology, and mass hysteria, as well as in discussions about the role of media in shaping public perceptions. The Bermuda Triangle, also known as the Devil's Triangle, is a loosely defined region in the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean where a number of aircraft and ships are said to have disappeared under mysterious circumstances. The vertices of the triangle are generally considered to be Miami, Florida, Bermuda, and San Juan, Puerto Rico. The term Bermuda Triangle was popularized by Vincent Gaddis in a 1964 article for the magazine Argosy, although reports of unexplained incidents in the region predate this. A few of the mysteries include Flight 19. One of the most famous incidents occurred in 1945 when Flight 19, a training mission of 5 U.S. Navy TBM Avenger torpedo bombers, vanished without a trace. An additional search and rescue aircraft sent to look for them also disappeared. The USS Cyclops, a U.S. Navy ship with 309 people on board, disappeared in 1918 while sailing between the West Indies and Baltimore. No wreckage or survivors were ever found. Although not technically within the Bermuda Triangle, the story of Mary Celeste, a merchant ship found abandoned and adrift in the Atlantic Ocean in 1872, is often mentioned in discussions about the triangle. Various hypotheses ranging from scientific to fantastical have been proposed to explain the Bermuda Triangle phenomena. Some theories suggest that rapid changes in weather, strong currents, underwater methane hydrate eruptions, or magnetic anomalies could explain some of the disappearances. Navigational mistakes or other human errors may have led to some of the incidents. The area is one of the busiest shipping lanes in the world, so statistically, more incidents would be likely to occur there. Some propose that the covert military activities or piracy might be responsible for some of the disappearances, especially during wartime. Some theories veer into the realm of the paranormal, suggesting that alien abductions or underwater city ruins, like the mythical lost city of Atlantis, are to blame. Many skeptics argue that the Bermuda Triangle is a myth perpetuated by selective reporting and a tendency to not provide complete information. The region is heavily traveled and well studied, and incidents that occur there are not statistically higher than other heavily traveled regions of the world. Many of the incidents attributed to the Bermuda Triangle have plausible explanations, or at least explanations as plausible as for disappearances elsewhere. Regardless of the explanations, the Bermuda Triangle has captivated public imagination and has been the subject of countless books, documentaries, and movies. It's often invoked as an archetype for mysterious and unexplained phenomena. Overall, while the Bermuda Triangle remains a popular subject for speculation and storytelling, most modern evaluations suggest that the number and nature of the incidents in that area are not significantly different from any other heavily traveled region of the world. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please take a moment and hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future uploads. Until next time, stay curious.